Welcome to Marathi IML channel. Today we are going to see how ChatGPT works. ChatGPT is very famous across the world. Various industry, various organization, and even at the individual level, peoples have started using ChatGPT. Just recently, ChatGPT also now made uh, releases their prices, okay, and now they made as a commercial recently, and I think that is now something that they are going to commercialize that product, but still the free version is available for use. What is the purpose of this purpose of this video? uh, we know how ChatGPT to use, but it is very important to understand how ChatGPT internally works. So basically, in this video, I'm going to unboxing the various components of the ChatGPT. So let us walk through the what are the topics we are going to see today. So first of all, what is ChatGPT? Basically, everyone knows, but still, I'm going to explain how ChatGPT works who are watching this video first time and who don't know about the ChatGPT. Second, we are going to see the demo is very simple, but still we are going to use I'll show you different prompts how you can use so that ChatGPT can be used effectively. Third is the what are the drawback of existing language model or existing bot. Okay, so that things we are going to see in the third part of this video. Next, how the language model works, because most of the old bot or language models have some kind of similarity and what are their what it works. Okay, now how ChatGPT is very good than these language models or how it got trained, that we are going to see. What are the shortcomings of ChatGPT and what are the other tools like ChatGPT that we are going to see. So these are the topics we are going to see, guys, in today's video. Please stay tuned. If you are data scientist or machine learning, or you wanted to be a data scientist, machine learning, or AI engineer, okay, then this video is very important for you guys. Okay, because I'm going to explain each and every component of the ChatGPT. So please stay tuned. Okay, now let's come to the what is ChatGPT. ChatGPT, we know that it's a kind of a language model. Let me bring my pencil. Yes, so ChatGPT is a language model for dialogue. Okay, so you type something on the bot and it will give the response. Again, you type something on the dialog box and you will get the response. So similarly, something you can say it's a kind of our banking bots or any bots chat support. Similarly, the chat GPT works similarly, so it's a kind of language model for dialogue. Now second part, it is a sibling model to the instruct GPT. This is not the first model that OpenAI have made. It's already there is a instruct GPT, a model is available. So chat GPT is the next version of the instruct GPT. Okay, now what was the instruct GPT? Probably I'm not going to explain the how detailed instruct GPT works, but they you can see in upcoming slide there are few things I have explained about the instruct GPT, because the core of the chat GPT is the instruct GPT. So definitely the maybe in next couple of videos I'll go through the detailed uh, analysis of the instruct GPT paper. But if anyone wants to learn it, they can go through the website and download the instruct GPT and read it. But what is exactly instruct GPT? It's the language model to follow instructions. So you are giving instruction to the model and model give response to your instructions. This is the latest release of the chat GPT, that is Jan 30. Maybe, yeah, I think this is the latest one, which is has a 175 billion parameter. There are other models are available also in the market from the Google, Microsoft, DeepMind, and many other well-known organization. They also train their model across the similar, but the chat GPT is trained on the 175 billion parameter. As of now, as of the latest date, I think no official API and the Python package is available, no voice assistant is available, and no image support is available in the chat GPT. Second, it is very important that the chat GPT don't have the ability to browse the internet. Now there are many questions come in the LinkedIn or the Twitter or any social media web page that can chat GPT replace the Google or not. See, we cannot predict the future, but it can be a possibility. But as of now, if you ask the ChatGPT the latest information, then it cannot, okay, because it doesn't have that ability to browse the internet. So this is very important information that I wanted to share with you. Currently the free research preview, so no pricing model, but yeah, I knew that recently they have released their pricing model, so you can just check and see. But yeah, I know that the free review or free preview is still available. So there are the two models they have come up. One is the free version and another is the pricing version. So I hope now you understand what the chat gpt is. It's a language model for dialogue, okay, and how it works, that I am going to show you in a minute. So let me uh, bring the another browser. Yeah, so just a minute, let me delete the drawing. Thank you. So if you see, if you open the chat.openai.com, okay, you will come to this page. Okay, so you have the new chat, and these are the some of the I can say the questions are available. So also I have recently come across the very nice chat 50 awesome chat gpt prompts, okay, and those prompts I got from the LinkedIn. So I'm not the creator of this, but peoples have developed very nice prompt, okay. But before that, let me explain you how it works. So you have to go to the chat.openai.com, okay. Probably you have to register first, okay, that is the very important thing. You have to register yourself using your any email id, okay, and then this prompt will come. Now uh, s- I already tried out many of the examples and many of the scenario how ChatGPT works. So first time this window will be blank for you, but if you already use it, so you can see there are many kind of some window you can see, so as a part of this video demo, I already asked question what are the other tools like chat gpt. So these are the things are coming up. So the good part of this, it will save your save your text, okay, and what context you are asking. When you initiate new chat, it again start. So this is very important part of the chat gpt, and you can based on this answer, you can ask the many questions to the uh, this bot, okay. So let's again, so I hope now you understand this is a chat.openai. So these are the example. Let's try out some of the examples, okay. So for example, I ask gpt that explain the quantum computing in simple terms, okay. I click this, I enter it. So now see, you are getting the response one word at a time. So quantum computing is a type of computing that uses the principles of quantum mechanism to perform calculations, and unlike the classical computes that uses the zeros and ones and blah blah blah. And similarly, it creates a new window on your left side, and it assigns a name to that conversation. So so what name assign? It assigns the quantum computing in a simple term. Now you can ask, based on the response, you can ask the another questions. Now I do not understand what is classical computer, so I said explain what do you mean by classical computers, right? So it started giving the output one by one. So classical computers are the traditional computers that most people uses every day, and they use the binary system, meaning that all data and operations are represented and performed using the only two digit. Okay, so I'm not going to read all the sentence, but yeah, this is what the based on the response you can ask the multiple questions. Okay, so this is very nice. Again, there are the prompts people have already developed. Okay, now if I wanted to show you, see the very nice prompt people have developed as per the domain, okay, and this is some of the you know let me, yeah. So to get started, simply copy the prompts and paste as input for a ChatGPT. You can also use the prompts in, okay, sorry, that is the initial stuff. Okay, let me, yeah. So let's say you are acting as an interviewer, okay, and you want to ask you want to discuss with the bot about the as a question answer type. So these are the prompts already developed, that node.js, these are the skill set you are giving, and I want you to act as an interviewer. So you are asking the chat gpt, you act as an interviewer, I'll be the I'll be giving the interview, Okay, so based on your conversation, and you feel that it's a real-time conversation, so it is not something that bot is giving this some simple of questions. So based on your answer, bot is giving the right set of questions. Okay, so these are the prompts people already order, so you can just copy paste, edit as per your requirement and give it, and then bot, and you can be act as a interview kind of discussion. Similarly, this is the second prompt, that act as an Excel sheet. Okay, so bot you want bot want act as an Excel sheet, so you are giving the many inputs and the bot is giving the response to the Excel sheet. So I'm not going in detail how to use. People have already scholars in this area. I'll share this PDF with you. Many good things are here, you can use it and modify it, but just I have captured some prompts from here, and you can see the demo here. So I have just shortened this. So Node.js backend, React frontend developer, full stack developer. I wanted to access interviewer, so I have given this instruction to the ChatGPT, and it got response. Of course, let's start the interview. Now my bot acting as an interview. Can you tell us about your experience with Node.js and your application? So I just given, I do not know whether how Node.js was, but I just give it the simple. It is very nice and can build most of the stuff using Node.js. On response to that, again is giving great. Can you talk us through the project you work on using Node.js? Can you explain the technology you use? So see how the chat GPT works. There are many applications. I'll insist you guys just go and play with this and use this prompt as per your need. Okay, now let's move to the presentation. So we have covered the demo. I hope you like it. If you like it, just like this video, and if any doubt, please don't pull back yourself from commenting on this description, sorry, in the comment section. Then now, what is the drawback of existing bot? This is very important to understand. Now see, normally how human generates the language. Okay, they generate the language choosing the, let me take my pencil, it choosing the languages by choosing the text sequence, right, that are based to the given situation. So humans no need to use any kind of model. Basically, whatever the situation around it, based on that situation, human select the proper word, even using based on his background knowledge and the common sense. He used the words, and he used these the words to represent that situation. But the existing bot has lacking feature. Okay, existing any artificial intelligence model don't have this capability. They have capability to just generate the sequence, just generate the text based on the their vocabulary, but they don't understand what are the knowledge base they have and what are the background they have. So this is the main drawbacks of the intelligence bot. Okay, they cannot work like a human. Now just now we have seen one example where I asked the bot that you act as an interviewer, okay, and these are the skill set, and act as a like an interviewer. Now if you provide such a things to earlier language model, there may be find some difficulties. Okay, so this is very important that earlier intelligent bot has some drawbacks. Now let's move forward, that what are the other drawbacks. Other drawbacks is a lack of helpfulness. Okay, it is very difficult that model doesn't understand the what context we are asking, and it gives the general answers to almost all every questions. Hallucination, most of the time wrong fact is given by the models, the bot. Lack of interpretability, we do not know how these models works, that is again the one of the drawback. And generating the bias or toxic output. Okay, so sometime bot may give the bias output. Okay, so this is what the what existing drawbacks we have in the existing models. Okay, now it is very important, these models are based on the transformer based model, and that is the paper we knew everyone that it attention is all you need, which was released in 2017 by some of the Google developers. And it works on the two technology, that next token prediction and mass language model. Okay, and all the previous bot are based on this most of the bots are based on this transformer based model. So let's, before we are going into chat gpt, it is very important how the predecessor bots were working. Okay, yeah, so let's move to the next slide. Let me delete. Now let's see how the language model works. The language model works based on these two technologies. One is the next token prediction and the second is the mask language modeling. Now these are the two techniques were evolved from the transformer based model, that is attention is all you need. Now what happened in the next token prediction, that we are giving a sentence to our model, that is the neural network based model. For example, the cat sat on the, and we are not completing the sentence and we want our neural network model have to predict what will be the next word. So the next word may be mat, maybe chair, or maybe floor. So the cat sat on the mat, or the cat sat on the chair, or the cat sat on the floor, anything. So most of the model are working on this phenomena, and it will choose the most occurring likelihood possible word from its vocabulary given the previous sequence. So what will happen, it will identify the what is the previous word, and based on the previous word it try to identify what will be the next likelihood word. So this way my model try to learn from the next token prediction. This is the one of the technique is used in the transformer based model. Second is the mask language modeling. So what will happen in the mask language modeling, it is again a kind of variant of the next token prediction. In this we are masking some of the words from the sentence, and we will allow to neural network, that means the transformer based model, to predict what will be the good fit for that mask word. For example, let's say the mask sat on the, so this will be can be a cat, can be a dog, or can be a rabbit. So it allows model to learn from their statistical structure of language, and it will take essential step in this pre-training phase of every language model. And from his again the likelihood vocabulary, okay, it will predict the what will be the best suited word for that sentence. Okay, so these are the two technique is used in the language model, and most of the most of the bot were based on these two internal processes, that is the next token projection and the mask language modeling. Now let's understand, we already told what is the disadvantage of the language modeling. The most important disadvantage is that the language modeling can't think like a human. Human is predicting the next word based on the surroundings, based on the background, and based on his knowledge. But the language model predicting the masking word or the next word, okay, depending on the likelihood occurrence, right? For example, the cat sat on the floor. Okay, maybe floor is one of the most occurring word in his vocabulary, so it will say floor. So that is the main disadvantage of the language modeling, and it is not able to distinguish between the important error and unimportant one. So current language model doesn't have that capability, right? Second, now for example, let's say the Roman Empire, okay, mask with the region of Augustus. So the Roman Empire, this mass statement can be good fit for the began or can be good fit for the ended. So we can say the Roman Empire began with the region of Augustus or ended. So both words having the highly likelihood of occurrence, right? But models struggle to generalize this task or context that require a better understanding of the language. But the current language model doesn't have capability of generalization, right? So this is the main disadvantage of existing language model to identify the what will be the best word or best likelihood word based on the current situation, right? So this is about the disadvantage. Now let's move to the next topic, that is how ChatGPT train. Now we till now what we understood, let me revise one more time. So till now we understood what is ChatGPT, what how the chat gpt we can use. There are I will share the different prompts. At least these prompts will help you to uh, get the idea how these prompts I can use in my work, okay, to use the chat gpt efficiently. Then we have seen what were the what were the things available before the chat gpt and what were their limitations, right? And now we are going to see how chat gpt is good than the previous bot. And now we are going to see what are the things that been added into the chat gpt which will level up the bot technology. Okay, so let's jump to the how ChatGPT work. So ChatGPT work using the concept called as a reinforcement learning from human feedback. So if anyone is listening this reinforcement learning in a first time, don't worry, I'll explain what is reinforcement learning in a minute. But this is the technique is used in the ChatGPT, that is reinforcement learning from the human feedback. So ChatGPT is learning, okay, based on the feedback, which is same as the instruct gpt. So chat gpt is not the first gpt. The open ai first use this technology in the instruct gpt. Okay, what technology? That is the reinforcement learning from the human feedback. So they have developed the model of instruct gpt earlier, okay, and then they use this instruct gpt and some of the another dialogue data sets, okay, collection of that they will come up with the new things, that is chat gpt. But the rlhf, that is the short form of this, and the next one is the proximal policy optimization, it's already been used in this instruct gpt. So these are the three important things used in the chat gpt. First is the rlhf, that is base model is from the instruct gpt plus the dialog dataset. And once this model is there, they fine tune this model using the proximal policy optimization, short form it is also called as the ppo. Now what is proximal policy optimization, I'll explain in a minute, but probably I'll create the one more video in detail how this proximal policy or optimization works. These are the some of the reinforcement learning algorithm, guys, okay, and there are the other algorithms is also available, but ChatGPT uses this PPO. Okay, so maybe in coming days I'll create the series how this reinforcement learning algorithm works. So I hope you understand as of now that ChatGPT is evolved from the instruct gpt model. They have added some dialog box and rlhf technique in that, along with the ppo. On this technology the chat gpt model got trained. Now next, now as I mentioned, let's understand before that each and every component. Now how reinforcement learning is work. Now in the reinforcement learning there are some of the very important keywords. The first is the agent, second is the policy, actions, rewards, and observation. Now agent and the environment, sorry. So normally agent is the, I can say, actor, okay, who perform the actions, okay. uh, so agent perform the functions based on the policy he has. So policy contains the functions, okay, so what has to do. Now how agent perform? By have, with the help of observations. So let's say this is the environment. Agent observe this environment, send this observation to the reinforcement learning algorithm, okay. Sorry, it will observe the facts or thing in the environment, okay. Based on that observation, function will perform something and it will generate the action. Now whether that action is correct or not, that result as sent to the reinforcement learning, okay. So based on the action there will be a reward is get added. If the action is good, then there will be a good reward. If the action is bad, then there will be a bad reward. If it is based on this reward, reinforcement learning algorithm perform some updation in the function and then it will update the function. For example, if I want to simplify this structure in very real-time example, let's say there is a fire. A small baby doesn't know whether the fire is dangerous to him or not, right? He go nearer to that fire. He not he just touches, he just nearer to that, and when he feel heat, he finds himself that something is dangerous and he pull back. So what happened in this, the fire around that, it's the environment, the baby is an agent. Baby is walking towards the fire, that is something called as a function. Okay, when it feels the heat, he pull back himself or her back, that is the action. When he pull back, he get the reward, that is positive or negative. And once he get the reward, he will update his brain, that is your algorithm, that whenever there is a fire, don't go near. So that updation happens, and that something happen in the function. So accordingly, whole this thing is done, is been observed in the is been, this is the I can say this is the working functionality of the reinforcement learning, and accordingly this information is consulted to the model. Now earlier, only in the language model we have this box, that is the neural network box, but whether my box is doing correctly or not, that is something missing in the earlier bot, and that is something is added by the reinforcement learning. Whether my output is correct or not, it is depending on the sum of the loss function, and those loss function doesn't have the controllability as a reinforcement learning has. So the chat GPT is combination of this learning model plus this reinforcement learning. This reinforcement learning helps to optimize the policy so that language model can evolve over the period of time. So this way the reinforcement learning works. I hope now the at least the basic concept how reinforcement learning works, it clarifies. Right? Next. Now let's understand the some of the component of the ChatGPT. Now ChatGPT has three major components. One is the SFT, that is called as a supervised fine tuning model. Second is the reward model, and third is the PPO fine tuning model. I think this reward something I just explained earlier, that is something we have learned in the just a basic concept, not in detail, but at least we you at least know the reward model is coming from the reinforcement learning. PPO, as I explained, that if you remember that diagram, so in that diagram the function or that policy, it's something called as a PPO, and SFT is our language model. So SFT model, that is a supervised fine tuning model, is used in the chat GPT is GPT 3.5. So till before ChatGPT, GPT-3 was used, but they have done some kind of modification as per the ChatGPT requirement, and they come up with the model called as a GPT 3.5. So they fine tune on the relatively very small data set curated by the laborer. So what labeler does here, they have created some data, they have given some input of input text of the data, and also they are giving some output. So input plus output, so these are the things being done by the labeler, and then this data has sent to the SFT model. Okay, that is the GPT 3.5, and GPT will learn from this data, it will fine tune. So what will happen whenever there is a some generated some data has been sent to the model, model already run this input output type of model, and it will try to generate the output. So this kind of process called as a supervised fine tuning model. So again I'm explaining, they have used GPT 3.5 model. In the GPT 3.5 model, they have used the input and output data, send it to the model, model learn from this data. Okay, in this way, so that whenever there is a prompt based text, it will try to generate the output. Now these many outputs has been sent to the one reward model. Now SFT model outputs are rank. Now what happen whenever SFT model generate the output, it will create the rank based output. Let's say this is the first, this is the second, this is the third, this is the fourth. So four output SFT model generated. Now there is a one more model has is used, and that model called as a reward model. So what happened in that model, the laborer, okay, who the scientist, or I can say who is doing this, they have ranked this output. Okay, I will explain in detail in very diagram, but they will rank this output and this data. Okay, the text data along with their rank. Okay, which text is a better fit. Okay, they rank according in a descending order and send it to the model, and model train is on this data. So what happen whenever the SFT model generate the output, and when that output is sent to the reward model generate the rank, and based on the rank the PPO algorithm is fine tuned, right? Based on the rank PPO algorithm is fine tuned. So SFT model is improved in this PPO fine tuning model using the reward model with the policy model. So based on the reward, the PPO model you fine tune and it improve the SFT model. So these are the major components of the ChatGPT. I'm again explaining, these are the important component. First is the SFT, that is supervised fine tuning. Second is the reward model, and the next is the PPO, that is uh, proximal policy optimization model. Okay, now let's go to the essay. Let's understand each and every component in very detailed manner. Now I already explained what happened in this. So these diagrams we have taken, I have taken from the OpenAI. It's already available in their page. Okay, so it collect the demonstrate data. Prompt is sample from our prompt data set. So the list of prompt is selected, and group of the human laborer are asked to write down the expected output. Okay, also it is very difficult to use the huge million of data, right? They use GPT 3.5 use 175 billion of data, and it is very difficult that human has to sit and write down the input and output. However, they have used their existing things, that is open API request. In this open API request, using they have collected 12 to 15k data points. Okay, so they generate using the API request, they collect the input and output. In this way, they have used this data to train the GPT 3.5 model. It is very important that in this chat GPT they have used text Da Vinci 003 model, and earlier that there were 002 and 001 model. But if you observe, the 003 is very giving the um, uh, human like uh, output. Okay, so it's very improvised version of the GPT, or I can say the language model engine. Okay, so in this way the SFT model is been trained. I hope now it is the clear. Okay, next. Now next is the reward model. Now my SFT model is trained using the input output statement, and as I mentioned, that is a human generated along with the sum using the open API request. And which engine is being used? That is the text Da Vinci 003. Now the output is sent to the output is rank. Okay, the outputs are sample and they have rank with the descending order, that is DCAB. So D is the most accepted answer, C is below than that, A is below than that, and B is below than that. So they have ranked the output. Okay, for example, if you ask the model how child learn, maybe first time model give the first statement. When you hit the second time it will give second output, third time it will give third output, fourth time it will give fourth output. Now this human laborer give the preference which one is the most accurate. So the most accurate will get the higher rank, up below that second last rank, then third and first. So they have do this ordering. And so text output plus reward model is being used to train the new model, and that is called as a reward model. So as of now you just consider this as a black box, no need to go in depth. Maybe in couple of days I'll explain how the reward model works. But if you want it, then just comment it, that do you want this say lecture on that or not. Okay, so this is how the reward model is learned. Next, third is the proximal policy optimization. This is one of the important component in the chat GPT. Now what happened in the proximal policy optimization, the new prompt is sample. Okay, so new prompt is been used, it is giving to the PPO model, So this PPO model is initialized from the supervised policy, okay, and then it is sent to the, so what will happen once its new prompt is sent to the PPO, it will generate the output, and based on the output it is send that output to the reward model generate the reward, and this reward is sent to the PPO model to update their policy. If you remember my reinforcement learning explanation, I think you can link these things very clearly, right? Now I'll explain this PPO in upcoming videos, but if you want it, then again I'm saying please comment it and like it. Now in short, if you wanted to know how PPO in very general term, so the PPO uses the method called as a trust region optimization method. PPO use the trust region optimization method. It uses the function to estimate the expected return of given state or actions. Okay, so PPO uses the function, okay, and what function? That function is based on the trust region optimization method. Maybe I'm not going in detail how this it works. I'll explain in next video. Otherwise, this video is getting longer. But what exactly it will try to estimate that what will be the expected output. Okay, so it will compare that expected output with the previous state output. Okay, and they calculate the loss. Okay, and in this loss they generalize their PPO model. So this value function, how this value function initialized is it initialized from the reward model, and to added the penalty they use the KL penalty, that is Kubler Leber something penalty is added here. Okay, so it's very important statistical method is used to calculate the loss, that is the KL. Okay, I will explain this again in next video, but the KL penalty is added to the SFT model to model at each token to mitigate over the optimization of the reward model. Okay, so why it is called as penalty? If the action is wrong, the penalty is added. If not, no, it is not. But this is what the I can say overall learning of the how PPO work. So PPO uses the trust region optimization method. It will always compare the expected return of given state or action, okay, and compare with the previous state, and uses the KL penalty method, okay, to optimize the reward model, okay, to sorry, to optimize the safety model over using the reward model. So this is called as a proximal policy optimization. Now let's move to the next. Now this is how the model is trained. Now let's understand how the model doing the do the answer, that is the inference, right? So the new prompt is used. It is sent to the content moderation. Okay, now this image is captured from the Alexu LinkedIn post. So the credit goes to Byte, that is Alexu website. So yeah, good. So let's say the new prompt is sent to the model. It will check whether that content, for example longest common string is one of the lead code problem statement. It check whether it is safe or not. If it is set, then that output is sent to the ChatGPT model. ChatGPT model generate the response, and based on the response it will generate the content. Again it will check whether that response is safe or not. If it is safe, then it will give the output to the user. If it is not, then it will capture that output, okay, and give the output that sorry, I'm not trained on this provided medical advice. So each and every layer ChatGPT checks whether, or whether this prompt response is check whether that output is safe or not. So in this way the answer prompt works. Now I hope you understand how this answer prompt work in the ChatGPT. Next is the what are the shortcomings. Now until now we have understood how ChatGPT model is trained, how the answer prompt is working in the ChatGPT. If you do not understand anything, I'll suggest go back again, watch video again, okay, and still if you have any doubt please comment it. Okay, now let's understand there are still few some shortcomings in the ChatGPT. Now you understand that ChatGPT uses the laborers, okay, to produce the data. So there may be a biasness while giving the preference to the data, because they haven't used the many peoples across the world, they have few of the people, and there may be a chances the biasness, right? Second, the researcher who designed the study, okay, and write the labeling instructions, right? So again there are some set of researchers, again the biases maybe is there. Again, the choice prompts crafted by the developers or provided by the OpenAI customers. Okay, so you cannot use the many prompts through this. There are again the some limitation, but as per my understanding, many of the prompts are working very fine. At least the many. Okay, but again the choice of prompts are only crafted by some of the developers and OpenAI. That is again the third limitation. Next, the laborer bias both included in the, as I mentioned, the reward model and the model evaluation, right? So these are the some shortcomings, because we are depending as RLHF in the ChatGPT, we mostly depending on the data set creation and the reward model at on the laborers. Okay, so that is the some of the, I can say, shortcomings of the ChatGPT. There are many, because sometimes it also gives the some hallucination effects as well. Okay, but I have just captured the important one, but there are other many. If you know, then please try to comment it. Okay, thank you. Next, let's see what are the application. I think as of now there are hundred and tons of applications has been created by the community using the chat gpt. But still, if you know, then there may be a, you can use in the tutor here, translation, summarization, code creation, AI assistant, personalized AI, anything. There are a lot of applications are available. You just search it, lot of application has been already been created by ChatGPT. So it's a very very nice tool. Next is the options. Is there any other tool like ChatGPT is available in the market if I want to use it? Yes, it's available. So there is a LAION Open Assistant is currently been developed by some of the open community teams. Okay, and their agenda to create the same model like a ChatGPT, which is a open source. Okay, so they are trying to release their minimum viable product, that is MVP, in Jan 2023. So you can just there check the GitHub page, okay, and see. Then there is also the PyTorch based model is available, that is Lucid Rens, okay, which is also using in the RHLF. But before that, there are other models is also available in the market, that is Facebook Metapeer, then Google's Lambda, Google Palm. Okay, so these are the some of the models is also available in the model, which is a kind of chat gpt competitor. Okay, so Google Lambda is trained on 135 billion parameter, Google Palm is trained on the 540 billion parameter. Now see, the parameters is been used is very huge, so we expected that the model is been giving the more and more good output. So you will see the many kind of tools like ChatGPT and already been developed. Okay, it's not something that is not already been in developed in the market. Okay, so you can use this tool, okay, as per the requirement. Next, these are the some of the resources I have been used while recording this video. So definitely bytebyte.com. Some of the input text explanation I have used the assembly AI, assemblyai.com. It's a very nice blog. If you want, guys, please look at it out. The instruct gpt page and the hugging face, RLHF blog, okay, while preparing, and definitely the open AI. So I hope this way I have completed my I hope you have got at least clear understanding how ChatGPT works, and you got now clear understanding. Being a data scientist, being a machine learning, it is very important to understand what technology is underlined. Here in this video I have explained the very uh, block, I can say, the box, black box kind of explanation about the reward model, about the PPO. but definitely in coming days I'll explain how this reward model and how this PPO actually works internally, but still as a overview at least you got understanding. And maybe in some of in couple of days I'll explain how you can use data to fine tune the model, so we will create our own supervised fine tuning model as well. Okay, and create some of the things. So please guys, like and share and subscribe. Stay tuned. Thank you.